The short, fast answer is no. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Susan, and this is week 10 of my carnivore diet journey update. If this is your first time visiting my channel, let me give you a little backstory and context. I decided to take this carnivore journey 10 weeks ago after I got laid off back in April to take this time of not having a job to reclaim my health. The week before, the scale didn't move. I didn't lose my normal 1-point-something pounds, and it was, it really just kind of rocked my world a little bit. So last week, I really had to stop and think, is me continuing to have my morning coffee and my dairy and the fact that I'm adding cheese on my hamburgers, is that impacting my ability to lose weight quicker? And as I gave you the spoiler alert, no. I am an avid coffeeholic, and if I can give it up for this week, so can you. Breaking through my daily addictions is such a personal victory, and it's significant. And so in this video, I want to talk about breaking those addictions and health wins beyond the scale. And as I alluded to in my last video, and if you haven't watched it, you can check it out right here, about my new eBay death pile hoarding challenge. So stay tuned and let's get into the story. This week, I picked right back up. I lost 1 pound. So the interesting fact is, when I started this challenge after my last video, I shared that I weighed in at 197.2. The very next day, I dropped down to the 196.2. So there was that 0.2 again. And all week, the scale went between 196.2, 197.2, 196.8, 197.4. It just teetered back and forth. Well, I got on the scale this morning. Guess what it was? You guessed it, 196.2. So officially for the week, I lost my 1 pound. Yay! At least it moved, right? I apologize for the lighting right now, guys. I'm out for my walk, and this massive hotel that's in front of me is overshadowing the sun. So again, I apologize for the lighting. But I want to ask you a question. So if you're following this, clearly you're either on a carnivore diet or you're interested in doing one. And I have a question for those of you that have done the carnivore diet, or maybe you're doing keto, or you've done keto, or some other form of weight loss. Have you ever hit that plateau and you gave up maybe certain foods, or your favorite daily rituals to try to have a breakthrough in that stall? If you have, I'd love for you to share your stories below in the comments to see what you guys did to break through that stall and what your experience was like. I'm sure that you guys have experiences that you could share that could help not only myself, but others who may be facing the same struggle. Throughout the week, as I gave up the coffee, which, it was actually easier than I thought it was going to be completely honest. The only thing I really missed about it was the taste. I thought that I would have like caffeine headaches or withdrawals or something like that, and I just didn't. And I really shouldn't be surprised, honestly, because that's the way that this whole 10-week journey has gone for me. I just, 10 weeks ago, I made the decision that this was what I was going to do no matter what. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm not allowing myself to cheat, go back on my word, or get out of integrity with it in any way, shape, or form. And the same was true this week. I didn't drink any coffee. I even gave up my favorite stevia sweetened Zevia ginger root beer. I have like 1 or 2 cans of that stuff a night, not gonna lie. I just love the flavor. But I gave it up. I didn't drink it. Now, what I did do to kind of help ease that craving, I guess, just for the action of drinking coffee in the morning, which I drink iced coffee. I didn't do anything different for 2 days. I literally only drank water and electrolytes. But on day 3, I kind of decided, you know what, tea, caffeine-free tea, even though it's a plant, and you really shouldn't probably drink it if you're a true carnivore. I say that lovingly. I know there's a lot of hate that can be out in the carnivore world from hardcore carnivore people, or people like myself who call ourselves carnivores, but we're dirty carnivore, right? We're not just strictly the meat and water and salt people. But that's okay, right? You got to do what works for you. And I want to stress that more than anything. You got to do what works for you. But this week I didn't cheat because I wanted to be able to come back and actually share either the struggles that I had or the win, which I didn't get the great big win I wanted, which was that massive flush of weight, right? But again, that's okay because this is a marathon, not a sprint. And so I'm week 10. Let's see, I'm down to 196 and I started at 210. So what is that? 14 pounds in 10 weeks. That's still an average of 1+ something pounds a week. So I am not complaining. But what I did notice about giving up the dairy and the cheese, and I even gave up butter, kind of, sort of. I gave up regular grass-fed butter for ghee. I've never been a big fan of ghee, but honestly, I used it for cooking my steaks, and I actually liked it. It's just a little cleaner than regular grass-fed butter, but it's still dairy. But the big thing that I noticed about giving up the dairy and the stevia sweetener was that after probably night 2, I noticed that I wasn't as bloated feeling in the evening. So could there be something to giving up dairy in relation to maybe my Hashimoto's hypothyroid and gut health? Likely. And to be completely honest, I had coffee this morning for the first time this week, and it was a letdown. I really thought, oh my God, I can't wait to have a cup of coffee. And then I fixed the coffee this morning and it was like, okay, I'm familiar with this, tastes good. But it wasn't like, oh my God, right? I didn't have that, I've been missing you reaction that I thought I would. So that leads me to like the big breakthrough, right? I am no longer addicted to coffee, just not. If I choose to have a cup in the morning, great. But that I need to have my coffee is gone. In fact, after drinking the coffee this morning, I kind of regretted having it and not having my cup of decaf tea with just a tad bit of stevia in it, nothing else, no creamer, no nothing. So, who knows? I may just not drink coffee as often, which not a bad thing is my conclusion. And not only that, so let's just talk about this, right? Because I had to change up my morning routine to keep my mind from mourning, if you will, my morning rituals, it actually caused me to be more productive. And I'll touch on this later in the video about my eBay death pile challenge that I talked about in my last video. But this week has been a blur and a flurry of activity around trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do to support myself once unemployment runs out, because yes, I'm doing the things I have to do to look for a job, but I'm not committed to getting a job, if that makes any sense. I want to be able to use what little retirement I have left, because I did have to take some of it out of the bank, because let's face it, the severance didn't go far. Well, take it out of the bank. I had to take some of the 401k out of the retirement account. So, I have about half of it left, but that won't last me long at all, like maybe a couple of months. And so I've got to build my own income. And this week has just been an absolute, creative explosion and like I've been more productive this week in taking actions towards my dreams and my future than, I don't know, maybe I've ever done in my life, honestly. So that's been a great thing. Okay, well, let's touch on the blood pressure update. My blood pressure is the primary reason that I decided to take on this carnivore diet journey. I've had high blood pressure now for a good couple of years at least, and have been on high blood pressure medication. I just want to be off it. I don't want to be that person that's reliant on pharma to regulate my body. God created this temple and gave it healing properties, and when you give it the right nutrition and the proper tools, it's amazing what your body can overcome. And so my blood pressure, you guys, I'm so ecstatic. It has been green every single day. So I have had normal blood pressure for at least, it's been probably 20 something days now. I've had normal blood pressure, maybe 19 or something like that. So that's my big, huge victory. I hope to be off my blood pressure medication by the end of the year. I'm excited to be able to share that with my doctor and tell her, hey, I'm getting off the meds, and if for some reason the blood pressure goes back up, well, then we'll have another conversation, but I don't anticipate that happening. Okay, so next thing, non-scale victory. You guys, my clothes, and I've mentioned this, probably every week, but man, I'm starting to look pretty good in my clothes. Not gonna lie, checking myself out in the mirror. So, it's just super exciting that I'm really just getting present to the fact that weight loss isn't about the number on the scale. There's a difference between losing weight and your body composition. And, honestly, now my focus is not weight loss. Honestly, after this last week, the fact that I can look in the mirror and see the visible changes in my body is motivating me more than anything else. And I get that this is not going to happen overnight. And so I have now accepted that, and I'm okay with the journey, right? I'm going to have ups and downs. I'm going to have weeks where the weight doesn't move on the scale, and that's okay. Because just being able to feel healthy, I'm gonna get emotional. I feel healthy, y'all. I'm out walking. This week I have walked every single day without fail. I've been out here walking, and I'm averaging like 2.5 miles a day. And I look forward to it. That's what life's about, right? Not being bogged down and afraid to take action because you're overweight. And trust me, when I started doing this, it was not comfortable. I did not have this same mindset. It was hard to get out here and walk even a mile and a half, and then 2 miles, and then 2.5 miles, right? It just continues, my body continues to heal itself and get stronger and stronger and stronger. So, and it's not just the physical body, it's the mind, which is next to your soul. Your heart and soul is probably, the most important part of your body, because when your brain's not functioning, you're just a human sack of bones. And honestly, when I started my health journeys back in 2010, I did it because I had young grandkids, and I was getting really forgetful, and I felt old, not just physically, but mentally. We're talking 2010. So what is that? 14 years ago? And I'm 62. So I was 48 back then, and I felt old. And I feel younger now at 62 than I did back then. Go figure. But yeah, this journey has just been such an incredible 10 weeks that I just can't put it into words adequately enough. All right, well, those are the updates for the week. The last thing I want to touch on, and I hope that you stuck around for this. If you have, thank you so much. Just know that your views, your likes, your comments are so appreciated and play a critical role in helping keep me motivated, and knowing that by putting myself and sharing myself so vulnerably here online, that it inspires some of you to take a look at your own lives. And you know, some of you have said that it's caused you to examine where you're at in your life and make some changes, and for that I will be eternally grateful. It means so much to me. And in last week's video, I really kind of came clean about how I had noticed that I had just been, you know, I tend to ramble in my videos, and I noticed that my brain was cluttered, and I just coughed up. Well, it's because my environment is cluttered too. My eBay hoard, which is, I can't call it a death pile because it actually would be the death of me at some point if I didn't tackle the huge amount of unlisted inventory that I have. And I set up that I was going to do this eBay reselling, you know, turn my chaos into cash series on this channel. But after a lot of soul searching, and I've decided to not do that. A lot of you tune into this channel for this carnivore journey. You know, I tried to start a series on how to monetize this YouTube channel, and I did a couple of videos in it, and it really just didn't get much traction. And honestly, I got super overwhelmed and I quit making the videos. And what it really pointed out was, in looking at my YouTube analytics, is that the majority of my views and likes and subscriptions were coming from my carnivore content. And so this main channel, which I've changed the name, if you haven't noticed, from Susan Davis TV to Unfinished and Unstoppable. And I may go into a whole nother video about that because I want this video to be short. But I'm going to be launching my reseller reboot. And the whole intention of that channel is to help other people, other resellers like me, who are struggling to stay consistent with their buying and selling by buying more than they're listing, and therefore creating these massive death piles that can eventually take over their entire space, like mine did. So stay tuned for that. If that's a topic you're interested in, you know, how to turn your passion into profit, be looking for that. And then my second channel, well, actually, I guess it would be my third, is going to be not just for resellers, but for anybody, especially people 40 and over, that may be in the same stage of their life, right? They're either burnout at their regular job, they're pre-retirement, or maybe you are retired, you know? So anybody 40, 50, 60 and beyond. Because in my group, I've met some people that are 80, knocking it out on YouTube. So it's never too late to rise again. That channel will be launching as well October 7th. So you're gonna have to stay tuned if you're interested in learning how you can take your passions and turn them into profits here on YouTube, and using other platforms like eBay or Etsy or Poshmark or your own website, etc. And then also too, how to build a community on a platform called Spool. And that's, I'm not going to get into that on this video, but if that sounds interesting to you, drop a comment down below and let me know, yes, I'm interested. I'm going to stay tuned because I want to hear about this stuff, and I'm excited for the journey. And, you know, like I always say, all we have right now is, you know, this moment. So with that being said, you know what's next. Take it, go live your life full out with passion and purpose, and make it a great day. I hope to see you on my next video. Take care.